Hello and welcome to Soundtrack Creations Artist Spotlight, where we can make you sound like a star. And today we have André Tanguy with us. Hi, André. How are you?
I'm very well, Sefi. Yourself?
Extremely good and improving all the time.
Fantastic, fantastic.
I wanted to say first and foremost, thank you so much for sending Starbound to us. It's such a great song.
Well, thank you very much. It was a track that I've been working on for nearly 2 years now, and I had a couple of stop starts with it, and I wasn't really too sure on the direction at one point. You know, when you kind of get into that kind of writing component, and you're trying to really make the song embody everything that you're thinking and feeling. And I hit a few brick walls. I tried a few things, and then I placed it down for a little bit. Actually, I
Hmm.
just said, now isn't the right time to really bring all of the energy into this because it wasn't going to where I was hoping it was going to. And then, luckily, I was introduced to you, and then it took on a life of its own. So I'm very thankful for that.
Great, fantastic. Um, the Starbound, tell us a bit about the kind of people that were involved in writing the song, working on it with you.
Yeah. So it started off, it was towards the early part of 2024. I've been in the tech industry for a long time. I'd naturally come to a place where I was looking to come back into the music industry. And so I sat down and I was actually sat watching films with the kids, and I thought, okay, what do I want to do? What would I like to share with them? Is there a certain story, or what inspiration would I like to give them? And I just started jotting notes down myself, trying to come up with a story arc, really. And
Hmm.
my training was in television production at university, so my mental model of the world was very much a kind of a visual representation, a storytelling. So it wasn't the traditional musical route where you learn about, composition, production, and you're dealing just with kind of sound and feeling. For me, it's very visual as well. I like to
Interesting.
help the audience really double down on the story arc and the messaging, really. And for me, I'm blessed to have had three beautiful girls, and like that lens changes how you see the world. So for me, it was really about gaining clarity of the message, not just in the audio space, but potentially in the sync space as well. And that's kind of where my initial thoughts were. It was a case of, I've got a story that I'd love to share with the world, but I really want to do the story justice because I really want the audience to feel like it's their story. It's something that they embody, that they could share. And I see that with my girls. They share a lot of music with their friends. It's like, have a listen to this. This is what I'm trying to explain and explore. So I went deep into that side of things and just said, okay, what's the story arc? And I got to a place with the writing where I was happy with my kind of my story narrative, where I was going, in my head, what the protagonist was going through. This feels like, for me, it's a song towards the end of a movie where the protagonist, maybe it's a young person, has overcome a really big challenge in their life. And I wanted to have a place where you could have the protagonist and maybe the supporting, whoever is in that story, not detract from the main story, but really elevate it and provide that kind of paternal support, rather than that kind of the traditional love song, which for me goes a little bit too romance. That wasn't where I was going for this. I was a very fine line between getting the emotional energy right and then the story energy right. And so it was about mid 24 where I kind of got the story into a space, but I was really struggling with the composition. I had a couple of very basic chord progressions, but nothing that really felt like it embodied kind of the vision of where I wanted the track to go. So I reached out to Andrew, who's based in Ireland, and I
Hmm.
said, okay, this is what I've got so far. Can you help me with just putting a demo together that starts to refine, not get to the end, but just starts to bring it together cohesively.
Hmm.
So I worked with him, and he put together something that was brilliant. It was on the piano that I felt like I could contribute to as well, and I could take it further, maybe change a few bits in the chord progression later on, or but there was a structure, so I felt like we'd crafted that. And then I said, okay, brilliant. Well, now what I need to do is I need to hear how this sounds from a professional singer. So I pulled Trevor in and I said, okay, Trevor. And I've worked with Trevor for a number of years, absolutely fantastic vocalist based in
He
California.
is really
And
great
I,
vocalist. The
and I
vocals are
said to Trevor, can you
fantastic.
help? I'm not yet at the stage of saying, we've got the track, but I want to feel how you can deliver it. And Trevor and I have this really great understanding where I can kind of explain a bit in Andre words how it's meant to feel. You're meant to be up here. I can't get up there, but I know you can, so help. And he then layered some really great vocals. But at that point in time, I was looking at, okay, where do I want to go with the instrumental and the production? So I started down a route that was a little bit more, let's say, rock, country rock, like a U2 kind of style.
Uh-huh.
And at that point, I reached out to Michele, who's in Italy, who I've worked with for a number of years as well, who's an amazing guitarist and does a little bit of production work as well. And I said, can you help me add on some guitars, add on a little bit of vibe? And we created a version it was brilliant, but it didn't feel right for the story arc. It felt like it could fit into that U2 vibe, that soft rock, alt rock, get a bit going, but it just didn't feel right. So I stepped back from that and I said, okay, I think where I want to come is that more traditional, quiet, not necessarily quiet piano, but that raw, when someone hits that note on a beautiful piano in an amphitheater, there's a certain resonance that hits you instantly, and you're
Yes.
there, you're focused, and that's what I was looking to do. So I reached out to Leo in Barcelona, and I said, "You, my friend, are a fantastic pianist.
He is.
This is what I've got so far. What I'd like to do is a couple of tweaks, and I'm trying to get this energy through the build of the track." So Leo then went away. He took, I think, a couple of weeks, and he just sat with the track, and he just said, "Okay, where does it need to go?" And then what he gave back to us was just a fantastic piano piece, but it didn't match the vocals anymore. The vocals had that kind of pushy, not necessarily pushy. Pushy is the wrong word, but that kind of U2, let's go, let's go, let's go, and they just didn't quite sit. So what I
Drive,
did,
maybe.
sorry.
Drive, maybe.
Yes, quite possibly on the drive. So I said to Trevor, okay, we've got these bits, but it still feels a little bit like I've got a green bit of Lego, a red bit of Lego, and a pink bit of Lego, and I'm trying to build a house that fits, but I need to recolor a few things. And so I said to Trevor, okay, I'm going to sit with this. And it was towards the end of 24, I just put the track down and I said, okay, great, we're here, but it doesn't quite feel right. And then it come full circle. I think it was like August, September this year. I sat down and I said, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this track. I know what I want to achieve. I know that I haven't quite achieved it yet. I need to step up my game and I need to look at this from a new perspective. And I need to work with someone who can understand the emotional energy, but also the other components of the songwriting energy that I want to bring into this. Someone that also has some life experience and some experience within the music industry that can understand where my vision is, because the vision was up here, but I still was a little bit nervous. I wasn't sure if I was ready. It was a case of, okay, I know this track has a lot of potential. And there was that fear element as well of, okay, what if it does good? Is that going to cause challenges? Or there's a new world. I'm going to have to experience that as well. And it wasn't until I kind of met you and then overcame that. And I said, brilliant. It's not about me. We have the best team and it's all about the team. And that's really been my expertise over the past 20 years in the IT industry as well, was really bringing teams together along a common vision, but allowing the experts to do their best, because that's how I see everyone I collaborate with. You guys are absolutely top of the game, just exactly what I would like to achieve. So that's where I went. I just said, okay, I just spoke to my wife. I said, this, I'm going to need some budget for this because I want to do it properly. Can I do it? Because I'd already spent most of the budget early on trying to go several rounds. So, wife approval, I'm very happy with that bit. Um,
Important.
yeah, that's very important. And more importantly, as well, those kind of 8, 9 months of putting the track down gave me a renewed kind of appreciation for how I wanted to approach the song. But also, as I started working with you, there was certain things in the lyrics and in the story arc that felt like they weren't quite aligned perfectly. So I started refining that as well. And it wasn't until I'd refined the lyrics and then I'd spoken to Trevor again and said, okay, we now have, the first kind of Sefi version, and this is the energy I would like you to work within for the vocal performance. And then Trevor absolutely knocked it out of the park to just understand that. And it was the comparison between the first, like kind of the old version with the U2 vibe, and then your instrumental and production was just, it was light and day for me. Trevor had really, he'd understood and embodied what we had connected with in the production side to add that little layer on the vocal side that really felt like, okay, all of the Lego pieces are now yellow and they all fit together perfectly. And then, hey presto, you work your magic, and I'm just sat here thinking, how is this possible? It is unbelievable.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you to say. Let's have a little listen of the demo you sent, and then the mixed and produced version where we've added some strings and some guitars and drums and yeah.
Let's make it count. Writing on our dreams, we're starbound. We're breaking out through the atmosphere. We're so far off the ground. Let's make it count. Writing on our dreams, we're starbound. We're breaking out past the atmosphere. We're so far off the ground. Let's make it count. 'Cause this time we're starbound. We're starbound. So let's light up the sky with love.
What a great track.
Thank you very much. I mean, yeah, I'm still blown away with the final output, the work that you did to understand and to bring and embody everything that I hoped this track could be to life. It is the thing of dreams, right? Especially within music and within storytelling. What I was really hoping for was just the ability to tell a story authentically with creativity and with a unique flair that was universal, that everyone could enjoy. And your help has absolutely elevated that to the next level. And I'm so grateful for that. Thank you very much, Sefi.
You're most welcome. It was an absolute pleasure to work on it. And to those watching, if you want your song to shine and you want to sound like a star, send us over your song and we'll produce, mix, and master it and make you sound like a star. Thank you so much, Andre. Good luck with the release.
Thank you very much. Everyone can find out about Twofold Cipher. We've got other tracks that you've worked on as well, which are fantastic. And I just hope that everyone enjoys the storytelling.
Take care.
Thank you.